Want to know the secret to nailing 7% of your CFP exam? These 22 behavioral finance concepts aren't just easy exam gimmies. They're the key to understanding why your clients make irrational money decisions. In the next 10 minutes, I'll give you the biases you need to know, organized into 4 categories that mirror how our brains actually work: decision paralysis and avoidance, overconfidence and control issues, information processing errors, and emotional attachments. By organizing these principles in this way, you'll not only memorize them for the exam, you'll understand how they show up in real client situations. And to help you study, I've created a free cheat sheet with simple definitions for all 22 biases. Grab it in the description below. Now, let's start with decision paralysis and avoidance. The human brain is a powerful computer, but even it can overheat and break. That's what these biases represent. Overwhelmed to the point of not being able to make a decision. Analysis paralysis is the classic example of deer in the headlights. Imagine your client gets $250,000 when they sell their home and downsize into a condo. They spend 3 months comparing every available ETF and mutual fund. Sound familiar? This might seem like thoroughness, but it's actually them using data to procrastinate. And this isn't just a trap that clients fall into. Advisors can find themselves chasing their own tails as well. Number 2, fear of regret, or the what if I'm wrong monster. Making no decision sometimes feels safer than making the wrong decision. Take Mark, for example. He inherited $400,000 when his mother passed away. He's afraid that the market is at all-time highs and will come crashing down, so he doesn't invest. 5 years later, the money is still in cash and he has missed out on a historic bull run. Number 3, diversification error, or what I like to call the equal slice of the pie syndrome. You're so overwhelmed, you decide to split everything evenly. Ever seen someone contribute 10% to each available target fund in their 401k? That's not diversification. That's our brain opting to go with the simple but ineffective solution of peanut buttering everything. Now, you might be thinking, great, these stories are amazing, but how does this help me pass the exam? Here's the thing. The exam will test these terms in a very textbook way, but if you can understand the psychological traps that are playing out in real life, they'll stick. You won't just be memorizing definitions, you'll actually recognize these patterns. Now, if our first category was about dragging your feet with indecision, this next category, overconfidence and control illusions, leads us into taking risky actions we maybe shouldn't be taking. Number 4, overconfidence is the core bias in this category. It leads us to put too much emphasis on our abilities and knowledge, assuming that it'll allow us to make more accurate predictions than we really can. It's the employee that puts 80% of their net worth into their company stock because they have an insider view, forgetting that external factors like industry outlook and the macro economy should be considered as well. Number 5, self-attribution bias. This helps us maintain our confidence. We attribute success to our own hard work and skills, while failures, well, it's bad luck or external factors. This is selective credit taking. It's a client who takes credit for their tech stock gains in 2020. I knew those companies were going to succeed, but blames the Fed for 2022 losses. I mean, who could have predicted those rate hikes? Number 6, gambler's fallacy. This is the classic, I've been on a losing streak, so I must be due for a win. You see this show up with a client refusing to sell a losing stock because, well, it's been down for so long. It must rebound soon, right? Number 7, outcome bias, or the it worked out, so it must have been a great idea. This is the client who pats themselves on the back for YOLOing on GameStop. Never mind that position would have failed 99 times out of 100. The last principle in this category is herd behavior, or the everyone's doing it, so I might as well do. It may be strange to include FOMO in this grouping, but herd mentality is the opposite of overconfidence. You're giving up your own judgment in favor of the crowds. You've probably seen this a lot with crypto. I don't understand crypto, but all my friends are buying it, so I thought I might as well. Now, we're almost halfway through our list. Are some of these examples feeling maybe a little too real? Remember, it's not just clients who are guilty of these cognitive mistakes. Financial advisors do it as well. Perhaps most commonly in this next category, information processing errors. These are the shortcuts our brains take to simplify information so that we can make decisions faster, but not necessarily better. The most basic of these is anchoring, or the price tag that sticks. This is a client who insists that their house is worth $900,000 because that's what their neighbor got 4 years ago. Never mind the difference in square footage or the recent downturn in the market. They are anchored to $900,000 and won't budge. Number 10, money illusion. This is our tendency to think in nominal dollars rather than inflation-adjusted figures. It's kind of like a flavor of anchoring. After all, $1 million is $1 million, isn't it? Number 11, mental counting. This is when we treat money differently based on its source or intended use, even though all money is fungible. You've probably done this one yourself. You're more willing to spend your tax refund on a big purchase than you would normal income. Or maybe you buy yourself a fun toy using money from a return because, well, that money was spent anyways. Number 12, confirmation bias. This is our tendency to filter out information that confirms our beliefs and downplay anything that contradicts it. I want to hear what I want to hear. It's the investor who's so bullish on crypto, they only read positive news, dismissing any traditional financial analysis as not getting it. Number 13, cognitive dissonance is what happens when information conflicts. It's the mental tension of holding two conflicting beliefs at the same time. Imagine a client who says they want aggressive stock growth, but panics every time the market dips. Or someone who claims to prioritize retirement savings, but leases a new luxury car every 2 years. That's cognitive dissonance. Number 14, recency bias is the tendency to place greater importance on more recent events and discount history. It's clients choosing to forecast using pandemic-era stock market returns rather than a historical average of 7%. And the final concept in this category is hindsight, or the 2020 I knew it all along bias. This is the tendency to see events as more predictable than they actually were. It's, of course, stocks were going to boom during the lockdown, even though at the time, there was massive uncertainty. Now, before we continue, here's something that you might not know. What we're talking about is Nobel Prize-winning research. Richard Thaler won the 2017 Nobel Prize in Economics for his work on mental accounting and other behavioral biases. Daniel Kahneman got his Nobel Prize in 2002 for showing how these biases affect decision-making. If you're finding these concepts fascinating, check out Thaler's book Nudge or Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow. Both are must-reads for financial advisors. All right, onto our final category, emotional attachment and loss. These are often the hardest to address because they're rooted in deep emotional connections. Whether it's how we grew up, our relationship to wealth, or how money shows up in family dynamics. Loss aversion is the most fundamental of these. It suggests that losing hurts more than gaining. In fact, studies show that we feel losses twice as strongly as the equivalent gain. That's why a retiree will keep most of their portfolio in bonds earning 3% because a 20% drop feels so much more painful than a potential 20% gain. Number 17, prospect theory takes that loss aversion a step further. It shows how our warped emotional scale changes our appetite for risk. When we're winning, we become cautious. You gotta lock in those gains. But when we're losing, we're willing to roll the dice, double or nothing. It's how a client is willing to take out a second mortgage on a property that's down, but buys another unit with cash. Number 18, overreaction. This is about responding disproportionately to information, leading either to over-optimism or over-pessimism. It's an investor who panic sells all their equities after a 10% market correction. Number 19, endowment bias has us overvaluing what we own because we own it. It's the client refusing to sell a concentrated position in stock because they inherited it. Number 20, attachment bias is when emotional connections to people, places, or things interferes with rational decision-making. It's the empty nesters not selling their family home despite wanting to retire early because it's where the kids grew up. Number 21, financial enmeshment is when the boundaries between parent and child finances become blurred, often leading to unhealthy financial dependencies. This one really hit home for me. It's the parent who uses guilt to control their adult child's financial decisions because we raised you. Or it could be the aging parent who jeopardizes their retirement to pay off their 35-year-old son's credit card debt. And finally, number 22, financial infidelity, when someone deliberately hides or lies about financial information to their partner or spouse, often due to shame, control, or fear. It's the client who has a secret credit card with $1,500 in debt, or a partner who has a gambling addiction. Helping clients navigate financial deception within their relationship is among the most challenging scenarios CFPs encounter. And there you have it, 22 behavioral finance principles that are most likely to appear on the CFP exam. If you're taking the exam soon, check out my video about 5 proven test-taking tips that will get you closer to passing. It's not about studying more, it's about understanding how the exam is designed so you can pass. And if you're about a month out from the exam, I've got a video laying out what you should be studying week by week as you get closer to exam day. I'll see you in the next video.